Good morning, everyone. This is SHANKX, and we will start this show today from our studio. And we are not on a walk this morning. Oh, this music is a little bit overpowering. And there I am. I don't know if you could hear me at all. The music was a little bit overpowering. As you can see, this morning from the SHANKX studio here, we have to skip our walk. Busy day. But I want to report on yesterday, which was awesome because we attended an event at UIW, the University of the Incarnate Word here in San Antonio. And this was an amazing event put together by the Texas Public Policy Foundation. And the topic of the event was basically Texas healthcare reform. So what I am doing there with my company and with Andrea is that we are positioning ourselves as experts in a niche segment, which is healthcare reform, for several reasons. Okay, first of all, we are very passionate about the topic. We want to be part of a grassroots movement that really drives change for Texans by providing more affordable and more accessible healthcare. What that does too, if as a company that provides a certain service, if you make a strong bond with a movement that gives other benefits, such as you get to know all the thought leaders, the movers and shakers, the makers and doers. And that is very important because however you're going to be involved in promoting the movement will, of course, naturally be your strongest skill set, which means that over time, in a very beautiful and natural way, you can show your skill set to the decision makers and the movers, the shakers, the doers of the movement. So what that does is you create value by participating in the movement. You become very knowledgeable. You gain a lot of domain knowledge and understanding. But also, every single thing you do is also a sample of what you or your company could potentially provide and contribute to something that people care about. So naturally, over the course of the months and years that you are involved in doing this, and by the way, this is not a short-term strategy. This is a medium to long-term strategy, but a very effective one because you meet so many requirements at once, right? So again, over the course of months and years, the decision makers, the movers, the doers, the awesome people that are always showing up for everything, they will inevitably at some point ask you to help them with something that they are working on. Why? Because you have built up a relationship that is based in a common mission. You will very likely develop friendships and a deep respect and mutual understanding. And they know what you are good at and that you can help. Okay, so this, my dear friends, is marketing at the highest level, relationship building. This is how you build strong businesses, and that's why I'm talking about that today. So I want to briefly share a few pictures from the event yesterday. So here you see the panelists. This was the moderator, David Ballat. He is the president, or I believe executive director of the Texas Public Policy Foundation. And he did an amazing job moderating this panel. And then you have Dr. Roger Muchigemba, a physician located here in San Antonio. He's a pioneer and visionary in the direct primary care movement. Here you have Dr. Reza Mizani. He is also a physician, a nephrologist, and also an entrepreneur because he is the man behind an app called Lasso, which is basically, think of it as a marketplace for health procedures. So you download it, you type in, I'm looking for an X-ray, and then it'll give you within a radius that you set up cash price. Okay, no surprise billing, you get the price that you would have to pay for a certain procedure, and that's it, nothing else. So that is Dr. Mizani. And then here you have Kyle Sinclair. He is a local hospital CEO, and he's also running for Congress, if I'm not mistaken. And he had lots of interesting contributions to make to the panel from the perspective of a hospital CEO. And then this is a very, very good friend of mine here, Dr. David Wiquist. He is at the head of the Center for Medical Tourism Research. He's also heading the business program at UIW. Very, very smart person, great friend. So this was a panel that we attended yesterday. And again, why is that something we do as a company, and specifically Andrea and myself? It is because of all the aforementioned reasons. It's pretty awesome when you can build a business and knowing that you are part of a movement that does something good for the community. Okay, and that for us is providing more affordable and better access to the Texans that we love so much, and ultimately really the entire nation, because we are involved in an association called the Free Market Medical Association. For the longest time as chapter leaders, Dr. Mochigemba, myself, and Andrea here in San Antonio, which is something we are still doing. But then over time, we were also able to help on a national level. And as every industry is kind of interesting, it's like a small family, you know, everybody knows the important people, the decision makers, the influencers. And again, it becomes inevitable for you to, at some point, being asked to help with something and be compensated for your work, which again, this is a natural progression, but it takes time. You can't go into this with an agenda of greed and of impatience. You need to have the mindset of let's give, and then be confident in the fact that life works in a way where if you give and you contribute, you will receive back. That's it for today, my dear friends. I am 5 minutes away from having to be on a Zoom call that will span the entire morning. It's going to be a call held by John Lee, who is a social media influencer, and he will share best practices for leading memberships. And as you know, I basically, with the contentmasters.club, you can go to contentmasters.club. I am leading a membership there, and essentially this call today is all about how to make that better, how to also convey the idea of the membership better to people out there. So if that is of interest to you, go to contentmasters.club and check it out. That's it for me today. I am very grateful, as always, that you have spent this time in the morning with me. And then hopefully tomorrow we can be back, Andrea and I, together. For now, I am signing off and wish you a beautiful, beautiful Wednesday. Bye-bye.